This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
One of NASA's newest flight directors is from Columbia County and is featured in our latest space segment, Next. Greetings, fellow Earthlings, and thank you so much for watching. I'm Ken Kara, and here's your local information. We have a great way to launch you into the weekend. Here's my interview with Chloe Mehring, a flight director at NASA. That's cool enough, but she's also from Mifflinville in Columbia County, a Central Columbia High School graduate, and a Penn State grad, and all of that is out of this world. In our latest Taking Up Space segment, we'll talk about returning people to the moon, an epic first landing of the Boeing Starliner spacecraft, and the Bloomsburg Fair. What is a flight director at NASA?
I like to come up with two-word answers to best describe what I do. So for a flight director, the best two-word answer is decision maker. So they make the decisions. They are the overall authority for the Mission Control Center, for the astronauts that are on board the International Space Station, and for the International Space Station itself. So if there's, some type of failure or malfunction or something's not going right, they get all of the information collected from the various subject matter experts in the room, which are the other flight controllers. They'll take that information, they'll make the final decision on what to do. And kind of in the background, we do a whole lot of other planning. So they do all of the coordinating with the various groups at NASA to make sure that the mission is going as smoothly and effectively as possible. So a lot of behind the scenes work as well.
You mentioned you work with the Orion spacecraft. I think I read that you worked with SpaceX Crew Dragon and also Boeing Starliner. What was that like? The
Boeing Starliner, that one was a very, very, very special day to me. That was my first time sitting out in the front room for real-time operations was on the Boeing Starliner orbital flight test. And that was in December of 2019. And I was the ascent and entry propulsion officer. So I was on console for when we launched and a couple times up in orbit and then when we came home. That launch and that mission did not go as expected. So we punched off the launch vehicle. We were having a timing error on board, and we could not get the vehicle nominally into its orbit. So it was on a trajectory to come back to the Earth and burn up. Our team had to react to that failure, and we got the vehicle into a safe orbit. My system took a pretty big beating during it, so I had a whole lot of things I was not expecting to have to do that day, but I had to do it. And then we worked together as a team to make sure that it was safe to come back home and fix any other issues that were going on. So it was one of those, a very special moment to me, it's one of those days I'm never, ever going to forget. So as we like to say, we earned our paychecks that day.
And Starliner touches down in the desert in New Mexico. An historic landing in White Sands, New Mexico concludes the first flight test of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. The first time an American-made, human-rated capsule has landed on land.
I was following along with a lot of people, on Twitter about just how amazing it was. You were able to bring the vehicle back, get the data, and let's do this again. Like, it was a true victory there. And it seems like that is spaceflight. Like, sometimes things don't go as expected, and you have to make the best of it. And that goes all the way back to the days of like Apollo 13 and that. Like, you just have to find a way to the best scenario.
I always say it's probably the closest to Apollo 13 it's gotten, but without people on board, fortunately. If we had crew on board, I think we actually would have been in a lot better shape than we were. Which is good news for the future. But yeah, it was, and it was hard reading some of the headlines because you only saw the negative in the press, and really the teamwork that went in to make that successful and being able to land basically on the bullseye of where our landing site was. It was a phenomenal feat by that flight control team. So everybody worked together so well. You saw people in the front room, the people in the back room, people running simulators in a whole other facility, making sure that mission got back safely. And it was an incredible team to be part of.
I like recommendations. Favorite space movie, favorite space book, and your favorite food at the Bloomsburg Fair.
Favorite space movie is, I have to go with Apollo 13. I always enjoy Apollo 13. Now, if I want to get a favorite space movie with the alien theme, Independence Day is up there. I will say my favorite book, hands down, was The Martian. I read that book. I think I started reading it at an airport waiting for a plane, and I just start laughing out loud hysterically because I'm like, this is on point. The personality wise of it is just on point. So The Martian. Now the Bloomsburg Fair, we have to go with foods, not food. So I think when I first enter, I walk towards the nearest Coors Orangeade stand. And then from there, I usually go to Vince's Cheesesteak. And then I have to go to a church stand to find my pierogies. And always have to get a piece of Pollock's or the Denny and Pearls pizza. And then I usually like to end it with one of those walk-away sundaes with sprinkles.
How exciting is it to be there right now? And why should the public be excited? Maybe they just see this story, back home here and they're like, whatever, they're launching rockets again. But why should the public be really excited about all this?
We're going back to the moon. And for me, that's pretty awesome because it's going to be different this time. We're going to have a lunar outpost called Gateway. We're going to have constant traffic to and from the lunar surface. Where we'll have people there. We're going to be building all these different little pods on the lunar surface. The one thing was, I remember the 50th anniversary, how excited people got to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. And now it's, okay, not all of us were part of that. Well, we get to be part of this one now. And this one's going to be really cool because we're going to keep going there. We're going to create this constant presence and always have the ability to get to the moon and operate from there. So I hope people are really excited about that.
Today's news feature is brought to you by The Cheese Store and more. With Easter right around the corner, stop in and order your Easter pies, nut rolls, pierogies, and raviolis. The deadline to order is March 20th. To order, you can call 570-455-3425. Also, don't forget to go to their Facebook page for daily specials.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our forecast for the National Weather Service. On Saturday, it's mostly sunny with a high in the 30s. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 20 degrees. Sunday is sunny with a high in the 30s. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 20 degrees. Monday is sunny with a high in the 40s. Monday night, partly cloudy with a low around 30 degrees. And Tuesday, it's mostly sunny with a high in the 40s. We have one score on the SSPTV Standard Speaker scoreboard. Jack Flynn had 24 points in North Schuylkill's victory in the District 11 4A boys basketball playoffs. The Spartans will now face Bethlehem Catholic in the next round. Head to standardspeaker.com for playoff updates this weekend. Get ready for the high school basketball district playoffs with my story on the North Schuylkill Lady Spartans in sports. Next, the story on the hardworking men and women helping the area with snow removal this winter. And we have a clip from one of our religious shows in the SSPTV Spotlight.
Good evening, everyone. Here's today's Talk of the Town. Registration for 4K in kindergarten in the Shenandoah Valley School District will be held on Friday, March 26th. People must call the elementary office at 570-462-2796 for registration information and to schedule an appointment. SSPTV News would like to congratulate MMI seniors Louis D'Angelo and Darren Zhang, who were both selected as finalists in the National Merit Scholarship Program. The American Red Cross will have their virtual telethon on Sunday, March 21st from 3 until 6 p.m. with the event being aired on SSPTV. For more information, you can visit redcross.org/greaterpa. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of Helen Mensinger of Freeland. The Mickey Wilczek Funeral Home will announce their arrangements. Today's social and obituary report is brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. Call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.